Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. This is Rob. You guys, today I'm going to give you a list of my favorite decks when it comes to direct answers. What are my decks that just tell me exactly a clear answer? Hey Rob, this is exactly what you need to know. This is your answer. We don't beat around the bush. We're not going to sort of give you a story. No. We're going to tell you exactly what you need to hear, whether you like it or not. And so these decks are not raw. These decks are direct decks. These decks don't beat around the bush. These decks are going to give you your answer. There's not going to be that much chatty. If you want to see decks that are going to chat to you, this is not the video. That's another video, and I made it. It's already on the channel. So go in there, take a look at that if you're looking for chatty decks. This one is a straight answer deck collection, and we're going to do all the way from number 5 all the way to number 1. Okay, and at number 5, we have the Lucid Dreams Beginner's Tarot. Now, you guys, it's a beautiful deck, not inexpensive. It is on the expensive side. This is one of the versions that came in a smaller box. This is what the back of the box looks like, and you can pause your device and take a read at that. This is the book that this particular deck comes with, and it's a really good book. So it's pretty thick. It comes with almost 230 pages. Yeah, 240 pages actually. And it goes right into the meanings, and it gives you the symbols here. Because it is a beginner's deck, it goes a little bit more into detail of what tarot is all about as compared to some of the other booklets that you get with some other decks. That this one just gives you a little bit more information. That's what the back of the book is, or what it reads. This is the introduction. And so that's the book, you guys. Very, very, very useful, especially if you're starting with tarot. This deck is not only direct, but this deck also is a beginner's deck. So if you're starting with tarot, this is a wonderful deck. It's going to really help you out if you're starting and if you're not sure about the meanings of the cards. This is an expensive deck, so a lot of the times, we're starting, we're not really sure, and we don't want to spend that much money. Unfortunately, this is an expensive deck. Look, you guys, this is gilded. Something that's really important with this deck, by the way, is that there's a lot of decks out there that say that they are lucid dreams or real lucid dreams tarot decks by Saint Soleil, and they're not. It happened to me, so be careful. I bought this deck, 3 of their decks I have. I have an oracle deck and I have 2 of their tarot decks, this color and the black version. And I bought this version on Amazon before, and it was really, really inexpensive. And I thought, oh, I wonder why it's so inexpensive. Well, it was really a fake. And so I needed to send it back, and I was so disappointed. And of course, the quality was not there. It was a mess. I returned it, and I finally got in touch with Saint Soleil, and I finally got my copy. The deck itself is absolutely gorgeous. Look, this is gilded in that matte finish, which I absolutely love because it's durable. It doesn't chip away. And cardstock is beautiful. It's that linen paper, but it's one of those really, truly beautiful linen papers, you guys. And so they are just perfect. They are durable. They're robust. Nothing happens to this paper. I use this deck on a super often basis, and nothing has happened to it. Yeah, the box is this is supposed to be shiny here. It's chipped away, but I don't really care. I take this deck almost everywhere I go. So when I travel, this is probably going to be one of the decks that I choose to take with me. So this deck has been everywhere with me. When it comes to size, they are pretty much regular size, as you can see. So very little difference between a Los Carabeo and this particular deck. And so when it comes to shuffling this deck, it shuffles really well. I love this cardstock. This is one of my favorite cardstocks out there. Back of the card, they are reversible. You can already see that, totally reversible. And so if you read in reverse, that's wonderful. And the card will also give you the meaning in upright and reverse position. So that's really wonderful. If you want to do a spread with this deck, it works absolutely wonderful. The drawings on this deck are just gorgeous, but it's straightforward. It's going to just tell you what it is. And in case you forget, or if you're just starting, it is very RWS. it just gives you the keywords here, and it gives you the keywords when it is upside down. So it's just one of those wonderful decks if you're beginning with tarot. And the drawings are gorgeous. I love the silver in it, not the silver, the gold in it. And it is just absolutely gorgeous, you guys. This is the Four of Cups. This is the Empress. This is the Magician, the Wheel of Fortune, the Hermit. Just beautiful. I love, 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 love this deck. And of course, I have the black version of it. I couldn't help it. I had to buy it, right? The Five of Pentacles, the Five of Swords. Look at that Five of Swords. Does that just tell you exactly what you need to know or what? The Eight of Cups. I love that Nine of Pentacles. It's just a great deck, you guys. So, starting or not starting, and that's another thing I wanted to say about this deck. Even if you're not starting with tarot, who cares? It's a beautiful deck. Just absolutely stunning. And so, and one of the things that I really like about this deck is that if you are not interested in reading what the meanings are or the keywords, you don't have to. They are in white, and so they don't really jump out at you. You are going to have to really focus, and you have to read that. So that's one of the wonderful things about this deck that was really well thought out, that if you don't want to look at the meanings, you don't have to. You know, you just look at the picture, and the drawings are just absolutely gorgeous, you guys. So that is the Lucid Dreams Beginner's Tarot by Saint Soleil. Let me show you what my deck number 4 is. Deck number 4, the Morgan-Greer Tarot. This one is by US Game Systems. This is a deck that I really enjoy working with. It is so concise. It just tells you your answer right away. It gives it to you just right there, so clear that is why it made it to this list, because it just is super clear, super honest. No hitting around the bush with this particular deck. It is a mass-produced deck. It is by US Game Systems. Many of you are familiar with this deck. It is not expensive, which is another wonderful thing about this deck. It comes in a talk box. I am not a fan of talk boxes, you guys, but whatever. It is what it is, and it is a talk box. That doesn't stop me from using this deck, because it's really a very cool deck. This is not even a booklet. This is like a pamphlet. So shall I say more? It gives you very little information and whatever. That's the book. And so these are the cards. The cards are pretty cool. They are in a 70s sort of motif, which I really, really, really like. It's by an American artist. The cardstock is pretty good. This is what the back of the card looks like. They are sort of reversible. You can see here that there's a little star there, and here is not. But I think if you are not super looking or not looking so carefully, you'll be able to get away with reading in reverse for this deck. And so that's really not a big deal. But, you know, when it comes to paper stock, is really, really good. I mean, for a mass-produced deck, like I said, I've said this many times, but US Game Systems, they really have amazing decks for a very, very good price. I'm a big fan of US Game Systems, and this is not advertising for them. I don't work for them. I don't get any money from them or anything. I just really like their decks, and I think that it's really fair for me to say that they make really, really nice decks, and they use really nice paper stock, and then they offer these decks to the publicum at a very, very reasonable price. So, and this is no exception, you guys. So when it comes to shuffling this deck, you're gonna find it super easy to shuffle. It's sturdy paper. It's really good paper quality. I use this deck very often, and look at it. It looks like new, you guys. So it's not gilded. When it comes to doing a spread, it spreads just wonderfully. The size is a really good size. It's almost the same as a regular card, as you can see here. So if you have weak hands, or if you know, this is not going to give you a problem at all. It's just really, really, really good handling deck. Printing is okay. It could be better, but whatever, for the price that you pay. It's not a big deal. And if you're starting with tarot, this is an amazing deck to work with because it is totally RWS and it just gives you your answer right there. There's really not much to talk about this deck, and this deck is really not going to talk back to you that much. It's just going to give you your answer and that's it. You know, if you want a quick reading, if you want a straight answer, bam, Morgan-Greer, your deck. This is the Knight of Pentacles. This is the 10 of Pentacles. This is the 9 of Pentacles, the 4 of Pentacles, and so on and so forth, you guys. Really not much to say about this deck other than thank you for your answer. You have given it to me straight. The Hierophant, the Queen of Swords, once again, this is what they've chosen to present the deck with, the image that they've chosen: the 5 of Cups, the 10 of Wands, the 9 of Wands, so on and so forth. You guys, really wonderful deck. Not much to say about it other than the fact that it's a straight answer deck. You will get your answers with this deck. Now, you guys, let me show you my deck number 3 for straight answers. You guys, deck number 3, the Old Style Tarot by Alexander Ray. You guys, this deck is not old. This deck came out this year, if I'm not mistaken, and or last year. Like I said, it's not old at all. It's not expensive either. It is by US Game Systems. It's just, you know, once again, US Game Systems, I've been giving them a lot of credit, but they really do deserve it. They give us really nice decks for a very affordable price, and this is no exception. You get a really nice deck for a really good price and a really nice presentation with really good card stock. But this deck is on this list because it is a straight answer deck. It will give you your answer right away. It has its own style. It is, of course, RWS. So if you're starting with tarot, this is a great deck. By the way, all of these decks are perfect if you're starting with tarot. These decks are pretty simple to read. They give you your answer and you can just move on. And so this is the box that it comes in with. This is the back of the box. It gives you a sample of 3 cards there. You can read that if you like. The box breaks into 2. This is the book that it comes with, and it is a nice size book. I really like it. It's very well written. It is about 100 pages. And once again, you guys, 2 thumbs up for US Systems because they really give us beautiful decks for very affordable prices. And this deck is no exception for all of that. Quality for good price. And once again, this book goes into the major minor arcana, but it's really well written. It gives you the upright meaning and the reversed meaning, and that's that. This is what the inside of the box looks like. These are the cards, you guys. They are reversible, as you can see. When it comes to size, they are a bit bigger than your regular Los Scarabeo card, but not that. Yeah, I mean, quite a bit here. It's fatter than your regular Los Scarabeo, but nevertheless, really a nice size, I find. Cardstock is really good for a mass-produced deck, and especially for a deck that costs this amount of money. I think it's like $20 or something like that, you guys. You can find this deck everywhere. Like I said, it's mass-produced. It's US Game Systems, so almost everywhere you can find it. But the drawings are beautiful. We're going to cover those in a minute. So it is not gilded, and it doesn't have to be gilded. When it comes to shuffling this deck, it is beautiful to shuffle. Look at that. I love shuffling this deck, really. It doesn't give you a lush feeling like an indie deck would or something like that, but it gives you a really nice feeling, and I don't have a problem shuffling this at all. I actually enjoy shuffling this deck, and when it comes to a spread, it also spreads like butter. It really just spreads beautifully. Let me show you what some of these drawings look like. They are your classic drawings. It just gives you your answer right away. It doesn't beat around the bush. It just gives it to you. This is the Sun. This is the 7 of Cups. There is a lot to look at, but at the end of the day, it's just sort of intricate drawing. Not that there's a lot of symbolism there. I mean, if you want to look for symbolism, you can find it, but I mean, for me, it just, what it does for me, and by the way, you guys, I mean, this is all my opinions, right? What it does for me, it just gives me my answer right away. I don't, I look at these cards, I draw these cards, and bam, there's my answer. And that's it. I read it, it tells me the answer, and I can move on to the next card. And if you want sort of a fast reading, then this is the perfect list for you, because it just works wonderfully. This is the 6 of Wands, the 10 of Wands, and so on and so forth, you guys. They're sort of classical images, which I really, really like. It is an inexpensive deck, and it's a straight shooter. So that's what this list is, straight shooter list. So you guys, with that being said, let's jump to deck number 2. Deck number 2, you guys, the Radiant-Waite Spirit Tarot. You guys, it is an RWS, of course, and it is by Los Scarabeo. It is one of those editions, the more expensive editions from Los Scarabeo. I love this deck. I use this on a regular basis. There's many things that I like about this deck. It's a straight shooter. It tells you exactly what you need to know. It gives you your answer right away. It doesn't beat around the bush. And if you're starting with tarot, this is a perfect deck as well. I like many, many things about this deck. This is the presentation. This is what the box looks like. It's sort of, you can just take the cards out here from the top. This is the book, and it's got that rose petal feeling. It's just pretty run of the mill. And if you are familiar with Los Scarabeo, they are in several languages. So it may look like it's a bit thick, but then at the end of the day, if you just read in one language, whatever that language is, or two languages, then you're going to see that this book is really not that informative, because it comes in different languages. This one, for example, comes in English, Italian, Spanish, French, and Portuguese. So by the time you're done with all the languages, you really just have a very small section for you to read. So that's pretty much the book. The cards, you guys, the cards are absolutely stunning. This card stock, it's one of my favorite card stocks out there. Now, I've heard a lot of viewers, because I've done a review of this deck on the channel, so if you want to look at it, you can go back and take a look at that. But, you know, people said, oh, I don't like this card stock, it's a bit too card boxy like, and it's just too robust. And I personally, I love it. Thank God we're all different, right? Because what works for me may not work for you, and what works for you may not work for me, and vice versa, and blah blah blah. But this cardstock is really beautiful. It is on the shiny side, but I love the printing and I love the colors on this deck. It is a straight shooter, so WS, but just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful deck. It is sort of on the thicker side. So if you have small, fat fingers like I do, this might cause a problem. But still, for me, it doesn't really cause a problem. And because this paper is thick and robust, I love working with it. Like I said before, it is on the shiny side, but I really don't care. So shuffling this deck is really not a problem. A spread is also not a problem with this deck. And so if you look at some of these images, you're going to see that they are your typical RWS images, but it's a straight shooter. And if you don't have this deck in your collection, or if you're thinking about getting just a middle of the road deck, and when I say middle of the road, I mean, you know, a deck that it's just going to talk to you straight, this is a great deck. This one must be in anybody's collection, I think. The back of the card is the lilies, right? And so that is reversible. So if you were wondering about that, this is the 10 of Cups. These are images that we're all familiar with. Or if you're not, because you're starting with tarot, well, you know, you're going to see these images time and time again. Whether you're starting your journey with tarot or not, or whether you're seasoned, you can see that these images are images that are very common images to see. Just a straight shooter, you guys. It's, you know, it's just going to tell you what you need to know. King of Wands, 6 of Swords, Wheel of Fortune, Queen of Swords, 6 of Wands, so on and so forth, you guys. That is the Radiant-Waite Spirit Tarot. And you guys, deck number 1 is coming right up. So let's do it. Deck number 1, you guys, the giant Rider-Waite Tarot deck. Straight shooter all the way. Giant size. It doesn't have to be the giant one. I personally love the giant one. I use it every day for contemplation. I will take one of their cards and I will make it my card of the day, and I'll just run with that. I love the fact that these ones are particularly big, but as you very well know, or if you don't know, this Rider-Waite tarot deck comes in a smaller size. It comes in various sizes, by the way. It's just your typical Rider-Waite tarot deck. This one is by US Game Systems. It's not expensive. This one is, as I just mentioned, the giant version, but you can get the regular version for it. And there's nothing more straightforward than this. Okay, so if you're starting with tarot, if you're seasoned with tarot, whatever, this is the guy to have if you're looking for a straight answer. There's really nothing else I can say about this guy. You know, it comes in a talk box like this. The talk box is really nothing to brag about, but you know, I try to be careful with it, but it is what it is. This is the back of the box, by the way. You guys, I have to confess that when it comes to cardstock, the cardstock on this deck is pretty good. Printing is also pretty good. I did a full review of this deck, so you can go back in the channel, you can look at the review. You know, I love this deck, really. I work with this deck. I use this deck a lot for clarifiers. I'll take this deck out towards the end of the reading, and then I'll just pull out one of these cards, and it's like, wow, do you get a clarifier? Because they're so big, right? So talking about size, look how much bigger they are than your regular card, right? Huge. I personally love the fact that they're huge, and I am a big fan of huge cards. The back of the card looks like this, is that picnic table cloth, as I call it, or Italian pizza cloth. Whatever. Am I the only weird one that thinks that looks like that? But maybe I am. A really, really amazing deck. Now, when it comes to shuffling, you guys, you're just going to have to get creative, because this is just huge. So you're going to be creative when it comes to shuffling this deck. This deck I used almost every day, and it still holds up like this, which is absolutely amazing. I never thought that this would really hold up the way it has, but it has. And so when you do a spread with this deck, it just works absolutely stunning. You guys, there's really not much I can say about this other than the fact that this one is the real thing, you guys. If you want a straight answer, there you have it. You know, I mean, this is the one. By the way, it comes with an extra card, and it has a brief history there about Pamela Coleman Smith, and I find that really cool, by the way, because. And so, you guys, that's the Knight of Wands. This is the Four of Wands, the Six of Wands. What can I say, you guys? Straightforward, straight shooter. Doesn't get any more straightforward than this deck. And that is the Giant Rider-Waite tarot deck. Like I said, doesn't necessarily have to be the giant, but this is the one that I happen to have with me right now. But the Rider-Waite tarot deck is, for me, the straight shooter of the pack, you guys. That's the Emperor. So you guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your comments are. I love to hear from you guys, and I love to know what your comments are and what you have to say. And as I always say, you guys, until the next time.